Hello, it's me, James Lott Jr. This is 50 Plus here on JLJ Media. I finally get a chance to record some of these things. I've been on this show and a couple of other shows. I've been documenting, well, not fully documenting, but kind of documenting my journey as a caregiver and handler of a parent while going through stuff. It's been very interesting. I've been learning a lot of stuff. I actually been taking a log of things. My brother and I send each other messages all the time, and I'm going to write a book one day. I swear to God, I'm going to write a book one day about this. This is something I think is very interesting. But another thing I learned, which is very interesting, I'm learning right now about, is messages and texts and people still wanting you while you're going through a caregiving situation. In my situation, so this is good for those of us who are entrepreneurs or have full time, like serious full time jobs, but we're also actually physically caregiving a parent or an aunt or whoever, just whoever you're taking care of. For me, it's a parent. So my mom. So it's a new thing now for me that I'm so busy in a bubble, so to speak. I'm so busy in what I'm doing. From the day-to-day life of my mother to day-to-day life of myself. Now I'm managing two lives, overseeing two different lives, overseeing two different households, overseeing different things that are going on for her schedule and my schedule and who's coming, all this stuff. Um, and then when I get a chance, I'll get but like my phone hasn't stopped ringing, the emails haven't stopped, the messages haven't stopped, the texting hasn't stopped, the DMs haven't stopped. That's what's really interesting. And I always talk about my friend Tony and I, my chocolate twin, Tony Moore. Um, we talk almost every day. And now there was a time there's been gaps like between 4 or 5 days we haven't actually had a talk. A few texts here and there, whatever we can't get through there, but it's on my side 'cause I've been so busy. And it's like I see that there's times when I don't even see the message till way later. My phone isn't always on me. It's like maybe sitting on a table or it's on a couch, or I'm just busy doing other stuff, or I see the message and I just can't get to it right now because I'm handling something else at the same time. And that's been really interesting because for me, I've always been accessible. This is a new thing for me. I've always been accessible for the most part. I'm always like, text me, email anytime, and I'll get back to you in a few minutes, or within half. If I'm not filming something, I'll get back to you, right away. And so it's just new for me to let that go. Also, like I get back to you when I can. And it's funny because I'm so entrenched with what's going on, which means emotions are at any given moment could be something different. It could be a happy, elated moment. It could be a sad moment. It could be a tired moment. It could be a mad and tired moment. Um, who knows when I receive a message, how I'm even feeling at that given time too. That's another new one too that I'm learning. So I'll take it. So somebody was asking me like 10,000 questions. Normally wouldn't even be nothing to me. I'm like, oh, okay, just answer whatever. But I caught it at a time when I was like, the whole dance, all I did was handle questions. All I did was take care of this and that. And I was like so tired. And I saw it and I'm like, oh, I have to answer this. And I don't want to be mean and not answer, or I don't want to be short, but it's like, okay, I forgot I got to answer this question. And and sometimes I'll be just very succinct and short. It's like, thank you, great. Like, because I don't feel like talking about it. I don't feel like going through it. I'm going through it already. It's very interesting now navigating my responses to people. Now, some will just say, fuck everybody else. I don't care what they say. Don't worry about what they think. They know you're going through something. Let them get over yourself. But I still try on some level not to be short or mean or take out what I'm going through on someone else. I still don't want to put that energy out there. I'm still trying to be pleasant and compassionate and handle that. And so sometimes I'll record a video. So I told you guys before, I was recording a regular video, a standard video. Sorry, it wasn't personal. It was like a standard video. Somebody asked me and question, I just forward the video. And that was super helpful. So I tell everybody at home, if you have that kind of, if you could do that or have a copied message, a standard message. I sat and wrote it for the day and I go, how's mom doing? Click, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, forward, forward. I tell you that does help because in my case, I'm very blessed. I have a lot of folks in my life who want to know what's going on and want to hear. I can't repeat myself 10,000 times. You're not the only person asking me the question. Or asking me questions. As I can't, it's just, I don't have the bandwidth to even try to do that. So forgive if it seems like the answer's too standard. Well, that's just how it is right now. There's some days where I can talk, have the energy, and there's some days I don't. Right now, it's my time off now until Sunday night. It'll be Sunday night before I know it. I'll be back. But even with me gone, I'm still in charge of stuff over and off and on. I'm still in charge of stuff in general. So I'm still kind of on call, so to speak. Still having to deal with a few things. I still have to run a couple of errands for my mom, actually. So I'm just like, I'm never really completely off. So, but it's almost like entrepreneurship, where I'm never completely off. I still have things to do, and this over here, and that over here. Like you're never completely off. My life is never completely off. Um, when another person says to me, self care, I just go, thank you very much. I'll try. Thank you. I just smile now and just go my business because I keep telling people the only self care I'll have is when my mother is better. I'll be able to go back to my life on some level. That's when self care is going to happen. It's just not going to happen right now. It's not happening. I don't have the time. It's not happening. But she is improving in many areas, and I'm so happy because I've been working with her, taking the time to work with her and have compassion, and we're slowly getting there, and we're working on stuff. So every step she takes is another step for me also, and for my brother, and for those of us who are entrenched in this. Like I said before, she's my mother, so I'm going to do it no matter what. But I'm going to share with you also the real truth about stuff and how this is super. This is like what I said, one of the hardest things I've done in my life. Besides raising children, it's just like it's really I'm all in. I have to be all in. And there's so many different small things and big things and small things, and actually, like I said, at this point, because I am blessed in so many ways that she is able to feed herself, and she's able to talk and express herself. She's able to stand up. She's able to walk short distances. Like there's things that are going on that I'm very fortunate about. Ooh, thank God, right? And so there's that. But there's so many other things she can't do at the moment that I'm doing, and it's a lot. And my brother's doing his part and his parts, but most of it falls on me, as it does. But going back to the subject of, but there's people asking me questions, and see, there's several ways it feels for me sometimes. There are some days I am so happy someone's asking me a question about something not related to my mother or caregiving or anything. I have a work thing. Can I bend your ear? One of my friends called me, and I was like, yes, tell me all about it. I wanted to absorb everything. Had nothing to do with my mother. Of course, he asked my mom, and I did that, whatever. But it's like part of my old life. I'm in such a bubble where I'm barely able to do this. I'm barely able to do this right now, and I have no idea how long this is going to last. It was just so nice to have someone ask me questions about podcasting and money and contracts. I was like, yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm just like, yes, 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 yes. Let's do it because I'm happy, beyond happy to talk about it, beyond happy. So there's some days when people ask me work questions and some of these emails, I'm like, oh my God, I got to do some. Now I'm starting to do some sporadic interviews and a couple of shows, and I will never take them for granted ever. It's amazing. But anyway, so it is just so there's that component where it's like I'm welcoming. Please tell me your gossip. Please tell me your stuff. I don't, you know. Then secondly, there's also part of the work stuff where they're like, did you hear about blank? Nope, I haven't been online. I post a few things here and there, but I don't know I'm not searching around. So I feel out of the loop. And so I have to find ways to get in the loop and figure out what's going on. So I can stay in there. Then there's also the other side, which is people just they care about me, they want to know what's going on, and they text and or they call, like I have just so much going on. So I always tell people just forgive me, I'll get back to you right away. There's nothing personal towards you or anything, just I'm busy. And if my responses are short, there's a reason for it. They're short. Sometimes I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing to, or there's nothing to tell you. It's just it is. Then I get folks who text me or message me who just I almost come at me with stuff. And I'm like, I had a situation like that happen a couple days ago because some of my mother's friends now can contact me, some of them, and I'm not my mother. So when they contact me a certain way, I'm like, and I don't like it. I usually tell them how I feel. My mother doesn't do that. I do. I tell exactly how I feel. But she begged me not to respond to one person. I did respond to them first of all. I just knew they have compassion, but they kind of insulted me and my brother. But I didn't do it. I didn't answer them back. And that person brought it up again that I didn't text them back. And I was like, my mother begged me. I said I did for her. I didn't do it. I'm not trying to cause drama anyway, so I don't want drama. But I mean, but if she hadn't stopped me, I would have went off on her. And I'm like, I'm glad I didn't do that. It won't help anything. But people have their own things they put on you. I she doesn't call me back. My mother texts me. My mother almost died. She's recovering from a serious illness. She's recovering from her husband's death. There's a lot going on for her. So give her some time to get back to you. So I'm like trying to, so I'm trying to go, thanks for your compassion. Just give her some time. People write me long notes about what she didn't do and how and I don't believe, I'm like, folks, I don't have time for all that. I just don't. And so I just kind of push them aside. I don't probably push them aside. Like my number one thing I'm doing right now is taking care of my mother. That's my number one. Her health is my number one concern. But I'm having to deal with the world keeps turning, and as the world turns, right? The world keeps turning, it keeps going, and so these are just things I have to deal with. And there's a lot of it's interesting. And on top of everything else, you think this is the last thing I want to deal with. Of course, is all that. This too, but it is all of it from good to bad. Doesn't matter. You have to handle messages. You have to handle emails. You have to handle text. So but it's all up to you how you handle it and how you manage it. And sometimes it's tough managing. And sometimes I just ignore everything. I just don't have. I just ignore it. And everybody's gonna have to just understand. And now that's one thing I'm learning too. I can't do everything. I can't be everything. I can't. I just can't. If people ask me how I'm doing, I just tell them straight up how I'm doing. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't whatever. I'm asking for advice. I'm not asking. I'm just telling you how I feel today, which changes every day. I'm like this how I feel today. Um, and the right people, they know what to say. A lot of times they know how to respond to me. And those who've been through before, many times are really helpful. They're just like, I understand, I've been there too. Do you need anything from me? Or anything you need from me? Or might I suggest something? And I'll tell them yes or no. And sometimes I'll say, no, you don't need suggestions. I don't need any suggestions. Doing this is not easy. Doing it for anybody. There's no pain Olympics. Anybody who's been through this on whatever level knows it's not easy. That's just number one. So sometimes I'll be like, no, I don't want any advice. Please don't tell me any advice. Just support that I'm upset right now. I need to get this off my chest, or support that I need this, or I don't need any advice. I don't need anybody tell me go take a bath. If one person tells me to fucking, just gonna shoot them. Like I don't need any more advice. Just like, okay, James, we're here for you, or we'll be here when you get back, or we support you from afar. That's what a lot of us just need that. Because I am handling the stuff. The things are being handled. And we are blessed in many ways compared to other people who go through the stuff. So there's no complaints happening for me. I hate complaining. I'm not a complainer. I don't think it does anything. But this whole experience, because you know me, I'll turn into something. It's going to be either a book or an audio drive or something. I'm going to turn into something. I never thought I'd be going through this. I never thought I'd be going through this at 53 years old, almost 54 years old. Never thought I'd be going to my mother. I had no idea. Just did not think this would be happening. And that's like life, isn't it? Life is like that. Thanks for my little rants and observations. I'm gonna continue doing this because somebody out there, well, I've had people already come back to me and tell me, thank you for saying this stuff because I was feeling the same way. I know many of you guys can relate. And I saw you guys been sharing your stories, which have been wonderful. I like reading other people's stories. It does help. It really does. It really does help. But everyone who's sending me messages, please know that I'm busy in it, whatever it is I'm doing, nothing personal to anybody else. And when I can, and if I can, I will get back to you on some level. That's how that works. I'm James Lott Jr., 50 Plus is everywhere, and I'll see you next time.